We're back at it, guys. Playing against Tommy again. So it took me a while to set this one up. The previous video with Tommy happened months ago during one of those Saturday tournaments. And I've been meaning to get out there to play more games under pressure, play some money games, kind of just get some of the polish, get used to the landscape a little bit. And I was able to not only set up some sets with Tommy on the day of this recording, but we did a bit of a lesson before it. And so I've gotten to the point in my game where I feel like, maybe getting sort of diminishing returns with the drills that I'm doing. There's definitely still progress there, and tightening up the home table helped a lot. If you haven't seen that, check out the practice video. I'll throw that in here just to see how different the home table's playing. But I think I need a coach. I think I need to be working with somebody consistently, and maybe it's Tommy, maybe it's not. Maybe I get involved with somebody else and just build relationships in the community, kind of spread that out. There's a lot of wisdom there. There's a lot of experience out there, and it's just going to end up benefiting me and kind of growing my game no matter who I'm working with, I think. So I just have to find the right person. I had a really solid lesson with Tommy, and we spent most of the 2 hours that we worked together just drilling into the 9-ball break. And so I've completely changed my 9-ball break. We played 2 sets. This is the first of 2 sets, and flipped for the first break. And we talked a little about how I'm going to pause it here while I'm still kind of doing my intro. How do you make a good game? How do you go about asking for weight? How do you determine the split of the games? How many are on the wire, or am I getting balls on the table? That sort of thing. And Tommy's perspective is, and we're talking about a guy who grew up with the game, lived the game, played on the road, has played the best and beaten the best. His thing is ask for the moon, and then have them kind of talk you down from there, which makes sense. You want to make a good game and set your pride aside. You're trying to win. You're trying to win that money. And it's one thing to come in with the mindset that hey, we're playing straight up, we're playing even, let's just see who's the better player. But if you're in it to win that money, if your motivation is truly just on the money, then you really need to be negotiating differently. And so just to sort of air that out, and also just based on my curiosity, I asked for the moon. I was like, hey, give me the 7-8 wild, which basically means that they're not called. It can combo into the 7-8 or the 9, which is a lot of weight. I do not, realistically, I do not need to be getting that kind of weight against most players, especially on a bar table. So let's see how this shakes out. Let me know what you guys think about asking for weight and handicaps and making good games. I'd be really curious to see what you all think about that. Tommy won the flip. This is a race to 5. Remember to like the video. It helps out a lot. I know a lot of you are out there liking the videos. I really appreciate that. And subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I put out a lot of content as much as I can. And I do commentary like this. I try to focus a lot on just the sort of the mental game, dealing with the nerves and the pressure. And let's just see what happens with this match here. There is going to be a little bit of sort of chatter. Obviously, I don't have the audio in here, but Tommy was still kind of treating this almost like a lesson set, where as we're playing, if I mess up on something or do something silly, then he'll kind of walk me through it, or we'll sort of he'll kind of coach me about whatever that situation was. So there might be some jumps, there might be some cuts in the editing, or there might be kind of some dead time here. But basically, I wanted to talk about the break a little bit, and maybe I'll do a specific video on this if there's interest. But he was basically showing me secrets on how to break 9-ball on a bar table. And the idea is you're trying to make the wing ball, you're not trying to make the 1. It's going to basically bounce out and sort of dress up here. If you end up making the 1, you should end up with a shot on the 2-ball if the 2-ball's in the second row of balls. So there's a bunch that goes into it. But it basically exactly happened that way in this set. The 1 ball happened to drop, but he had a good look at the 2. 3 was right there. And really the key shot here is this, getting from the 4 to the 6. Gets a little funny on the 6. I think he was trying to get up past it to play the 6 in the side and then goes safe on the 6 ball, which is a good choice. I don't remember if this is frozen or not. It appears to... Yeah, it's hard to tell. Looks really close. It's not frozen, it's very close. So I should go verify that. I think if anything, if I have a piece of the 6, then trying to get off the right side of the 6 and back behind the 7 could be a good play. But I may not be able to see it. I might be behind the 8 ball. So I will probably have to swerve around the 8 and just make good contact with the 6. The first set we played a race to 5, and the second set we played a race to 7. So stay tuned for that one. It'll be a separate video. So get good solid contact on the 6. Not a great result, but you just sort of avoid giving up ball in hand in this case. And he can either bank this for tidy shape or cut it in, maybe roll into the 7 slightly. I might be tempted to cut that in. He does go for the bank. He ended up sort of on the backside of the 7, but I think that would have been a really workable position for him. And now I'm in a great position because I just have to play shape on the 7. Remember, I've got the 7-8 wild. So I just need to be able to make this 7 ball. Now the funny part is, while I was shooting this rack, and this is just purely inexperience here, also not a great way to play shape on the 7. You need to be coming down into here. I'm going to pause it quick. So I actually forgot that I had that handicap, which is just inexperience. If you make this kind of game, you need to be taking it very seriously. You need to remember what the terms are. It was so silly of me. But I get down, I was about to sort of address that 7 ball, and he said it's good. And in my mind, because I had forgotten that he gave me the 7-8, I was like, oh, he just thinks that I'm going to be able to run out the 7-8-9, and that's cool. That feels good. And so I just like let that sit in my mind for a minute. It's so dumb. So wing ball goes. So we've got a look at the 1. The 1 is sort of the tough shot here. 5's hanging over a pocket. You just have to get from the 5 to the 6 to the 7 because of the handicap. If I make a good shot on the 1 ball here, you're pretty natural to get shape on the 2. I think you're going to be coming out kind of like this. Good shot. It's okay to let this one out a little bit. There's a lot of room down here for the 2 ball, and you're very unlikely to get hooked on it. We're sort of on the back side of the 2, which means the cue ball is wanting to travel this direction. I'm bridging long here, but I think I was pretty comfortable with this. Just the angle of it. And yeah, I played it clean. Again, there's a lot of room behind this 6 ball, and I ended up on the far side of the 5, but I think this is still workable to come thin into the 5 and either play shape for the 6 in the side or get up above it and play the 6 in the bottom right corner. Looks like I'm going to go thin and hold it for the 6 in the side, which I don't mind. The table was playing true. The 9 helped us out a little bit. And now we'll just be able to roll up for the 7. Oh, let's get my game up. First one. And we were playing alternate break. I was a little thinner on the 6 than I would have needed to be to just hold it there. So I let it out, go up to the short rail and back. And this is the money ball. Just make the 7 ball and then don't have to worry about the 8. Just play that clean and you're up 2. Tommy's break. Like I said, it's a lot of weight. It's a big handicap. I do think really good players like Tommy will will choose to do that sometimes just to get sharp and to challenge themselves. But I have to say, with the way I was playing and where my game's at baseline, look at this. Oh, I'm surprised he turned the cue ball loose that much. I think it's part of Tommy's style to let it out a little bit at times just to get a good feel for the speed of the table. I'm looking at my windows for the 3 to the 4 to the 5. And then the 6, 9, 8 is not actually a terrible option here. And the 8 being the money ball, you might just accept taking that combo on. From here, it looks like I'm a little flat. On the 4, you could come into the 3 and sort of pinch back up to get straighter on the 4. You don't need a ton of angle off the 4 to get good on the 5. I've got the back cut. I could come off the 4 into the long rail and back up. Don't really want to graze the 6 ball here because the 6, 9, 8 is lined up relatively well. But I might not have to use draw on this. It looks like I'm just rolling through. Yeah, natural angle was there. So I go give that a look. I cut it because I think I stepped away or something. So I just decide to take the position from where the 5 ball was. Don't do anything crazy. And play this combo. I'm not driving the 6 naturally towards the pocket. There is a bit of a cut angle from the 6 into the 9, but the 9 to the 8 is close enough and pretty naturally lined up that just cooperates. And honestly, I mean, the position would have been fine here, right? Even if it were a natural game situation to play from the 6 to the 9 in that case. Ooh, almost scratched. Here's an interesting layout too, right? Everything stayed clustered down at the bottom of the table. The 1 ball did try to come up table, but got knocked back down. I like this play. He uses the 6 to stop the cue ball. He's got a good look at the 2. I think the 3 goes past the 4 down here. Maybe, okay, it might not have because he nudged it. Or that was just the angle that he had off the 2 and decided to use that. Digs into that one. Low left to come out and back for the 4. Played that beautifully. Really good speed. Options here, I think, right? You could come off the 4 and nudge the 5 up table. Or just float down with spin. And just use left. Come into the rail and down, and then he just is accepting where the 5 is. This is the key shot. Ooh, 8 ball's coming into play. Yeah, he got a pinch behind the 8, but it looks like he can spin through it. Rail first, which helped, actually. It helped him get on the 7. It's a really nice out. And he's under the 8. Making it look easy. I'll let him know that's good. So he was coming pretty full into the 1 ball there. The 7 almost goes, but we wouldn't have spotted that. That stays down. I look at my window on the 2. The 2 goes in the side past the 4. So in order to do that, I would have to get into here. It's not a huge window. Up here's fine too. I think this area would still work. In fact, being up here might be better because then I can come off the 2 and get past the 9 for the 3. So I'll usually just sight in this rail and look at where on the rail I want to contact to bounce out and get a good angle on the 2. This is still fine. So I think I can get either above the 9 or I can stun out a little bit to get under the 9. Just making sure you get an angle on the 3. I'm probably going for the full run out here to get from the 6 to the 7, but yeah. Okay, so I'm good on the 3. The plan, I'm kind of flat on the 3, but there's still enough to work it. You might have to go under the 9 or getting out and around is touchy. Okay, I'm giving this another look. The speed could be a little touchy here. There is honestly the 4-7 combo. I don't love that based on where this is, but if I underplay it, that's a backup. I underhit it. I was trying to get around the 9. Maybe didn't use enough spin. But in a game situation, a non-handicap situation, there's a safety. You could just push the 4 up table and keep them behind the 8. But the combo's on. The 7's practically hanging. Hit the 7 full, and that cooperates. It puts us on the hill. I think that's part of the thing here. You know, regardless of the handicap, you have to play aggressive. You have to keep your opponent on their heels. You just cannot give them chances to get out of these situations. Another weird cluster. In the lesson, we spent a lot of time on the break shot, but we also spent a lot of time on racking, making sure that the balls are properly frozen and everything, which I was aware of, but it turned out there were some things that I was overlooking or was just being careless or lazy about it, and so it was a really good tune-up of those skills. I think I just need to stun down towards the 3. Okay, I was able to get a decent amount out of that. The 3-6 is pretty natural. I could see myself playing this with a bit of pace to try to free up the 8-9. But we know that the 3 ball's not going to go. So it's a combo, freeing up the 8-9, and playing shape on the 3. Yeah, bit of pace. 5 ball helped me out big time. I was going to get stuck up table. I think I still have a look at the 3. Come up and back, or hold it and just get above the 4. I'm not sure. But coming into it, and maybe use the long rail to get up above the 4. Bit of spin. Easy speed. Bit of inside, bit of left-hand spin to sort of coax that in. We're reasonably straight on the 4. We want to make sure that we give ourselves an angle on the 5 to get back down on the 7. So I'm drawing up. Playing into here would be fine because then you're cutting the 5 and you have the angle to work with on the 7. Playing up to here is also fine. Overplaying it would not be comfortable, but I have the back angle that puts me pretty naturally on the 7. Five goes down, and we get tidy shape on the 7. That's our money ball. And that puts it away. So remember to like and subscribe. I'll hold the, pause the video there. So let me know what you think about this one. Like I said, it's too much weight, right? I mean, we went 5-1. He didn't get much of the table and didn't really have tons of chances to miss. In this case, it's a short race for first of all. It's a short race. And the 7, 8, and 9 That's a third of the table. It's too much. It'd be too much for even more of a Fargo difference, I would say, even more of a skill difference. Like, and not that I truly know what my Fargo is supposed to be yet, because it's not established. But this was very educational, this set, this little short race here. And we're playing cheap sets, guys. Like, you know, it's nothing crazy, but there is money on the line. There is pressure. You are having to perform. Like, all, you know, the game still plays the same. The game still matters. Everything matters. You do not want to let this go away. You don't want to just relax because it's like, oh man, I get this big handicap. You still have to play hard. You still have to play sharp. So it was very educational for me in that sense. Really, really valuable session. And just the first set of two. So not to spoil anything, but stick around because the second set is very interesting. And we end up playing an even race to 7. So drop in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Let me know how you think the next one is going to go when I play Tommy even, race to 7, alternate break. And stick around for other stuff. Lots more content on the way.